Oh, I would die.
You know they're doing the Roboson like robot transformers. You know the like $1,000 ones. They're doing a Devastator.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you...
Like the Optimus Prime that like you can say, "Hey Optimus," and he answers you.
Okay.
And he does.
Yeah. Okay.
Now Roboson, like it, and like Optimus Prime is $1,100.
Yeah.
Megatron's like $1,500. They're doing a Devastator.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to end up being like $5,000-$6,000 before it's over with. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I don't see how they can do
That's
that.
crazy.
Anyway,
I can't wait to see what they do with that. That's great.
me too.
We're ready.
I think this is where
Excuse
someone
me.
starts to talk.
I don't hear anything if we're supposed to hear something.
Oh,
I don't hear any music at all.
Yeah, there's nothing we don't hear
Really?
anything.
Nope.
You're looking at us like, are you supposed to hear something?
I
We
did all
heard
the
the
music.
talking before.
I
Oh,
heard it I heard the beginning of it, like when you first turn it on, and like a blip of it, and then it went away.
All right, here,
I was wondering why you were just looking at us like.
do you hear this now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, because what happened is when I rejoined the call, I forgot to put it into musician mode.
Okay.
I thought it would
There you go.
preserve that thing. So let's try this again.
Let's try it again.
Do it.
Is that us? Is that
Yes.
where we're supposed to go now? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 544, recorded on September 11th, 2025. On this week's episode, even though we didn't get it right and we've been doing this for 10 years, we talk about Nintendo stuff, of course.
Trust us, guys. We're professionals.
We're professionals. We talk about we're getting ready for the Nintendo Direct tomorrow. We'll have our predictions. We also talk about some of the news that happened over the week, such as Ubisoft Devs, talking about game key cards and why they chose that. And of course, we talk about games dropping, and we're just going to talk about Metroid Prime 4 coming out tomorrow, right? It's gonna, and all that kind of
Shadow
stuff.
drop.
Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's episode 544 of Nintendo Dads. It is September the 11th, 2025, and I'm joined tonight by the entire cast because, boy, howdy, are we ready for tomorrow. We're so focused on the Nintendo Direct tomorrow that we can't even remember how to start the flipping show. But again, guys, trust us, we're professionals. We only mess up like that when we're waiting on Justin to show up. Why
you gotta hate?
Because it's easy. I don't know, man.
Hate is gonna hate.
I'm in a mood tonight. I don't know. Anyway, we've got a little bit to talk about tonight, a little schmidgling of news, and then we're going to give you some predictions for the big, huge, epic 60-minute long Nintendo Direct on September 12th. And talk about what we've been playing and answer a few of your questions. But before we do that, guys, how are you doing?
Fantastic. Ready for tomorrow. Excited. People got it right. All kinds of feelings. All that talk about the, Direct, so.
Yeah, during the pre-show, I sampled the Oreo Reese's and the Reese's Oreo, and like everyone says that the Reese's Oreo is the better, and I agree. Yeah, the Oreo Reese's just really didn't taste any different other than the little peanut butter aftertaste.
Jesse, I'm under the impression they've already done that because they had done a peanut butter Oreo not long ago here in the States at some point. Why are you doing this again? Every week now, you're putting your nose in the camera.
Here, hold on, Justin. Here you go.
Guys,
got my Manscaped nose trimmer. Here you go. You ready?
All right, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Wow, that was
feels a lot better, doesn't it?
So good.
I have to assume that was in reaction to Oreo Reese's.
I don't think we have those up in the Great White North,
so
or at least they're not here yet.
So for those who don't have that where you are, what we're talking about is there's a simultaneous promotion going on right now between Reese's and Oreo. Oreos have a Reese's flavor out in stores, which has a orange colored cream, and then there's also these Oreo Reese's that look like a regular Reese's cup, but the top of it is white like Oreo cream, and then the bottom of it is chocolate like regular chocolate, and then in the inside it has chocolate Oreo pieces.
Okay, well that didn't work well. Apparently I haven't rebuilt the Five Faces screen. So let's go again full screen because Justin's messing things up.
Oh my gosh, what is happening right now?
I don't know. He's late and he's hijacked the show.
We're just all over the place.
Can we ask, are you drunk?
If I am, are you upset about that? Like, I don't like the judging tone.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm not. Thank you. But I like how your default answer was Justin's acting weird. He surely must be drunk. I appreciate that.
No, you don't act like this normally.
It's a byproduct of, listen, how many times have we done the show? 540? How many conversations have we had about Nintendo Directs? All right, like, you gotta have a little bit of fun every once in a while.
Either you're drunk or you just finished having some time with your daughters and they overstimulated you.
The second one.
So Justin needs adult time.
Also, the fact is I was trying to delay my laptop didn't work, so I was all over the place.
I completely understand. Yeah. You got it. Justin, how you been?
The audio listeners, check out the video.
Be sure to go check the video.
We should all be glad we don't let me just like do whatever I want more. Yeah, hey, I'm doing all right. It's been an interesting week, right? Obviously, the build up to this direct, the typical it occurring on Thursdays, right? That gives us a really healthy conversation here. But for it to be on Friday, so much content. And I will also say I am buzzing off of last week also, between Silksong coming out. I'm going to talk about that later. Star Wars Outlaws coming out. I'm going to talk about that. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to drop a bombshell for you right here. Marty, Tim, look at me. Look at me right here. Do you see this right here? I want you to look at me. I know you're looking at me because you're going to appreciate this. This guy finished Bonanza.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm proud. Listen, I'm proud of you.
I had about 2 days before Silksong came out that I was like nothing on my docket.
Can we just talk about that last hour? That was magic, wasn't it?
It just keeps going. Like a real story, honest story. So we were up in Calgary just for some family stuff, and Jody was kind of dealing with that, and she said, like, you've got the day, do what you want to do. So I took my Switch and I went to like a restaurant. I ate a sandwich outside and I'm playing Bonanza, enjoying the weather. It's going great. I'm getting closer to the end. I get the low battery light.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, no. So then I like put it in sleep mode, end up like going to the car, plug it in the USB, drive around for a little bit, charge it up.
I guess this is before you got that MagSafe.
Right before I got my MagSafe thing from Genki. This is not sponsored by Genki, let me tell you. And then I get a little bit further. Like it is on like the desperation life to the point of like, if the thing dies, I'm going to lose whatever progress I've made. Have I made that save? But ultimately in the end, ladies and gentlemen, it was okay. I got there. But It was amazing. Like you said, the last hour is incredible. There's so much going on. And I think Tim, you'd said like, you don't want to stop. Can't stop. Don't stop. Right. And then I'm like, no, have to stop or else big trouble.
Right.
Yeah. So in the end, it was tremendous. And then I had a couple days off, played a bit of Kirby, thanks to you, Marty, some good recommendations and our good friends over at Nintendo. And then I jumped into Silksong and Star Wars. We're going to talk about that later, my impressions and how many hours of gaming I've put in the last week. And it's a lot.
Can I just say that I'm proud of you? You finished the game.
Thank you. Listen, it was Donkey Kong. You know it was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like that was a for sure going to happen. Yeah. But wow, what a journey.
Yeah. And it's been quite a journey to get to this point right here where I say, guys, it's time for the news.
Okay.
And our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you join up with the greatest community of all time. That's ours. And you get to hang out with lots of like-minded dads over there in our Discord. $5 gets you the full sub-slated channels, $10 gets you pre- and post-show audio, and $30 you become a Patreon producer of the show. We want to say a huge thanks to our brand newest friend of the show, Ink Goblin, for joining in over there this week. And you can be like him and join in too. Patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. You can join up for a month, or you can do a year-long commitment. If you do that, we give you a month free, and everybody, whether you're in at the month level or the yearly, whatever tier you at, you get an ad-free feed of the show that is exclusive for you over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Twitch Prime subscribers also get in the Discord as well. So if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get that monthly Twitch subscription. Throw it our way, get you in the door as well.
Still no takers on the Justin free version tier for $200 a month. We will do an entire podcast and Jesse edits out me every single time. And so you just get like pockets of blank nothing, right? It's just kind of a dull, boring, drab episode, right? But then you like insert me back in and it's exciting and fun.
The feedback $200 a month was that they like you, Justin.
I know, right? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. So there you go. So they want you to stay in the show. So if you want to pay $200 for Justin to stay in the show, we'll take that too. But anyway, let's talk about the news. You guys head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Join up today. You can join on the app. You can join on your web browser. Just don't send us, crumpled up dollar bills in the mail. That will get you nothing, and we'll just take your money. And we'll say, how did you get our address? Anyway, so Nintendo announced a direct for Friday. It is tomorrow morning. We're recording this on Thursday night. So by the time you're hearing this, if you're listening to the audio version, more than likely it's already dropped or it's going on right now. And you should probably swap over there, pause this show, go watch the Nintendo Direct, and then come back.
Then you'll be able to ridicule us about how bad our predictions are going to be.
Right.
Go see how our predictions turn out.
Tons of people predicted this. Switch Force, Nate the Hate. Lots of other people said there's going to be a direct this week, and boom, a broken clock is right twice a day. You're going to get one every now and then. But as Mikey Dreamer said on Twitter, Marty said its name and it appeared, and what he's referring to is I put out a post that said, "Hey, this is the time that everybody, if Nintendo's going to announce the direct, all those leakers, if they're going to be right, they would announce it, right?" And literally 15 minutes later, Nintendo announced the direct. And guys, can I point out something about this? I don't know if it happened this way for you or not. The notification about the Direct came across the Nintendo Direct app first before they posted it on social media.
There's a Nintendo Direct app?
Whatever.
Nintendo
you know
Today.
what I'm talking about. Nintendo Today. Nintendo Today app actually alerted me to the Direct. And then I was like, and so I opened the app and the notification went away and it just said September 12th. Didn't give a time. So I didn't see that. So I went over to social media and they still had not posted a tweet about it at that point.
Now, they also do claim when they finally did tweet about it that you can actually watch the Direct in the app as well. So
okay.
they did. Yeah, they actually said you could view it in the. I have no idea.
Right.
Maybe so that you're not seeing all of the YouTube comments that say Silksong when. I don't know. I don't know. Possible, right?
Smash. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Same
like
song you'll see
any
now.
any toxic comment section of the internet at
Sure.
all.
I love
Minus
that.
ours, because ours is amazing.
That's why we
I
make
see
people pay to
you,
get in.
Ninfrendo Mikey Bucket.
Hey, so we're going to talk about our predictions later on in the show when we get to our Let's Discuss segment. But before we do that, there's a couple other little news items that I want us to hit on, including one that I think is actually pretty big. And I think it's big for the reason that game key cards have been a hot button issue since the Switch 2 launch. And it seems like every time a new release comes out, it's like, is it a game key card? Is it a game key card? Well, maybe we actually have some justification for that now. And here's why. This week on X, a Ubisoft Dev claimed that game key cards were used for Star Wars Outlaws versus Game on Cart, which it could have fit on the cart, but they used a game key card for technical reasons. His claim was that the read speed of Nintendo Switch 2 carts is too slow for constant data streaming that is required to render the open world. Therefore, they needed a game key card so that the game would be downloaded completely to a person's device, and then all the calculations and things would be done there. So I wonder.
Didn't even think of this when we had the debate closer to launch, and
it's sort of
so that's what makes me wonder. Is that the reason that so many people have opted for game key cards?
So I would say this in the Kit and Krista's podcast did a great job. They had this conversation as well, and they expanded a little bit more on your statement, Marty, which was the developer essentially said the cost of the game key cards never came into the equation. And so I think that's a really interesting perspective in regards to, we all assume it's the evil money perspective of it, but it's actually sounds
this was
like
a dev who said this, not on the public side.
Correct. And so I think that sort of changes the perspective, because I have Star Wars Outlaws, and I was like, why is this not on a actual cartridge? But to hear this now, I'm like, oh, okay, then that actually changes that quickly changed my perspective around it. It's actually about the quality of the game they can deliver. Now I'm going to say for Star Wars Outlaw, maybe that makes sense. But I'm looking at you, Puyo Tetris 2, right? Do not tell me, right, that you need to be on a hard drive because the rate speed from the cartridge is too slow for those small little bricks and the jelly little donut things going around the blocks and yeah, bugger off, all right?
Or games like the upcoming Dragon Quest 1-2 HD 2D remake. Switch 1 version is on cart, but the Switch 2 version is the key card. If the Switch 1's on cart, the Switch 2 versions should be fast enough on cart.
Yeah. So I thought I appreciate the perspective on it. Actually, I thought it was a really interesting commentary. I thought, and I do think, and the reality is that, and this is a great example of information, right? If you don't provide information to people create their own narratives. The narrative created around game key cards is that they actually cost less money. Therefore, the developer or publisher actually has higher profit margins. Therefore, they're actually not caring about the consumer. Thus, this is why it occurs and we don't like it. Not saying that's not a true statement for some, but it gives us a little bit more insight around the actual ability of the system and the decisions that are being made. We know that there are going to be situations where a full game does not fit on a cartridge, and it has to be supported by the system. There's no doubt. And I'll look at Split Fiction. I'm going to suspect Elden Ring. I'm going to suspect Final Fantasy VII, right? Are probably going to be situations like that as well. But we all went, if it can fit on a cartridge, you best be able to put it on the cartridge. This insight, I think, is actually really critical for us as consumers. It actually, though, I would say changes my perspective of, if knowing that, then why am I even buying a physical thing, right? Because the cartridge component of it, like, I guess, like, The cartridge, there's nothing on it. It's just the key, right? It's just the basically to allow you.
Maybe 10
there's no
data on the card.
Right. There's no. Yeah. I'm not splitting the data between like 20 on the card and 15 on the system. It's 20 and it's just the activation. So I think for me, like now that I sort of recognize that in a key card situation, I'm probably just going to buy it digitally. Is probably what I'll end up doing.
Well, don't forget
I guess
the reason
the resale
why,
values there too.
Yeah, don't forget that the reason why they did game key cards was to be kind of like that stopgap between physical and digital, so that you could still get the digital components rather than getting a digital code. You get a key card, and you can still trade in that key card because you can't trade in a digital game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, and that's a good point. Like if you're a person who is apt to trade in or I guess to lend, well, I guess you can do that virtually through all the yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to agree with Steve here in the YouTube chat. They also just need to make bigger cartridges. Steve, I'm not against that comment, but I'm sure that value will then be they'll be given to the consumer.
He also did bring up another good point that's been brought up in other areas, including their conversation on Nintendo Fuse, was that why don't they do it like PlayStation does, where you download from the disc the whole game? And I'm sure there might be a patch or something you got to download, but it's still on the disc. So in this case, it would still be on the cart.
It's installed.
And it gets installed to the hard drive from the cart. That way the game's still there.
While Xbox and PlayStation has been doing this for 12 years now, that's something that's new to Nintendo, and I think people.
Do we just lose Jesse's audio, or is that me?
I hear it. I hear him talking.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, but yeah. So now, what was I saying?
Sorry, I apologize.
So it's that concept is new to Nintendo users, and there might be a little pushback on that.
Yep. And to Michelle's point too, I think that also with the game key card, you still get that physical aspect of content within the game, you know. Like
she said
bonus items
with the key card. Weren't they also offering a bonus items or content? Yeah, there is like on the insert of the I did the unboxing as well for the game. There was like a hey, because you've got this, go to the, and actually to be honest, it wasn't.
There's no code there. Yeah.
There's no code. It's just literally go to Ubisoft. You go log into your Ubisoft account and you now have access to these two items. So there was no code associated with it. Now, I would say Cyberpunk, when it was all on cartridge, they had a specific, I think they had a different insert. They had stickers, a little note, and I think they had a code. But I suspect if you got a digital version, you probably got that code somewhere as well to be able to do all those things. So the physical really is like an actual tactical physical thing that does not have digital in it. So like I said, like stickers from Cyberpunk is an example of that.
Yeah.
But.
So it'd be interesting to see what people do moving forward and what game devs do. But I mean, I think this is kind of like the old, what is the saying, if between a rock and a hard place, or you're danged if you do, danged if you don't.
Yep.
Because if people are going to go after them for using the game key card, and then on the other hand, if they put it all on cart and it played like dump, people would be all over them too. So it's like there's no happy medium.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great way of looking at it. Like what's worse, the game performing really poorly on the system. Basically, then, I mean, if you think of that, game performs poorly on the system. Oh, Ubisoft doesn't know how to do ports. They're just coming after your money. I'm not going to buy the next Ubisoft game. You know, therefore, now our next game we put out, we're not going to get the same level of potential attachment rate. We're losing revenue, or they're going to be mad at us because we put on a cart. But if we explain why, it changes our outcome. Right. So I think actually Ubisoft actually came out pretty well in this situation.
Yeah.
They had two reasons why they came out well. One is because they explained why they used the game card, and plus the game is actually
good and runs well.
And runs well.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gets forgiven a little bit.
Yeah.
Next news item here. Hollow Knight.
Before we move on, so while I am mostly digital, I think I have like 5 or 6 Switch 1 games on physical. I am getting the DQ1 Switch 2 version physical because I'm buying that as the collector's edition. So that will be a game key card. So that'll probably be like one of the very few physical games I have for Switch 2.
Yeah, I have one physical game for Switch 2, and Cyberpunk. That's it.
Yep. I have
Like
two now,
this-
Cyberpunk and now because of a gift from my friends Scott and Michelle, Outlaws.
Star Wars. Me too.
Nice.
So it was
Cool. So speaking of games, Silksong is getting a patch because all you whiny babies cried so much and didn't get good and can't beat Morwing. And I don't even know what that is, other than when I mentioned it to my son, he looks at me and he goes, "They can't beat that?" And I was like, okay. And then he proceeds to tell me that the tutorial for Silksong is Hollow Knight. And so I've not played Silksong yet. I'm still making my way through Hollow Knight. But there is a patch that is either out now or is coming very soon where there's a ton of fixes actually for bugs that are in the game. And there is, yeah, you
Bug
see what
fixes.
I did? You got it. And so it also has removed a float override input. There's slight difficulty reduction in early game bosses. There's a reduction in damage from certain enemies and slight increases in rewards and other things. I mean, tons of little fixes and tweaks. And so it should all go to make a very smooth kind of experience there. If you are playing Silksong like so many people are, what are you doing?
This guy. This is Morwing. And he's a jerk.
Not less wing.
I'm not going to lie to you. He's a real jerk, and I'm having some difficulty. Will I wait for the patch? No, I'm gonna push through. But this guy's tough, or at least he can be. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mini boss.
I hate him so much right now.
There's a lot of people who hate him very much. And so they have acknowledged that possibly it's a little unfair. And yeah, so there's that.
Yeah. Silksong was originally planned as DLC, so people expected to not play this game unless they finished the first one. So it makes sense that they simplify the beginning a little bit since there'll be people who's playing this
he is not in the tutorial, Jesse. I am 13 hours into this game. If that is still tutorial, I am really worried.
Yeah, it's not tutorial.
All right, that is not tutorial. That is a fifth map that I need that I had to purchase from a stupid guy who keeps moving. And then I found out how you can bring him anytime. And I get that because I had all my rosary beads, and you got to collect the rosary beads. And if you lose the rosary beads, let me tell you, that is the currency. But then I found out that you can put the beads on the string and then you can hold them. And then when you hold them, you don't lose them. And that is a game changer. And then I had to go back and take this beetle through the ground like a fast pass travel to find this guy and ring a bell. And he showed up, and I chased this stupid thing for 3 hours. And you know what happened first, though? First, I had to try and defeat this boss, a mini boss. It was birds. It was a room of 5 different waves of birds. Stupid birds, too. Birds that threw daggers at me, and then one bird that like pushed me with a spear. And it took me 90 minutes, Jesse. 90 minutes. And I died so many times. And let me tell you, when I finally beat him, when I finally beat all 5 of them, it was like a high that I have never experienced in my life. And then I went 20 minutes later, and then I'm in another room, and then I'm getting the shit kicked out of me by a stupid bird again, and I'm so enjoying this game.
So we've already skipped to the what we've been playing section. So Justin
got that covered.
About Silksong.
That's covered
when
now.
we get there. I feel like
better?
the birds have broken you.
And then Friendo asked, "Are you okay? Are you okay, Justin?"
You feel better?
It's been a journey. It's been a journey.
Mikey Burger says,
did you play Hollow Knight at all?
So the bird is the word?
The bird.
I imagine some words were said during
I will talk more about Silksong, but it's been a real journey. It's been a real
Justin,
journey.
did you play Hollow Knight at all?
Nope.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that. I played 20 minutes and I was like, yeah, not my thing right now.
Right.
And then I got caught in the hype cycle with Silksong, and I am in it to win it, and I am loving it, but it is beating the shit out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of beating stuff out of people, Nintendo has won 2 lawsuits in court this week. The first against a website that has been illegally helping people dump things on their Switch and do things like that. It is, I'm trying to find some info on that here for you guys as we speak. It is, oh, yeah, here we go. Nintendo announces it won $2 million over Ryan Daly and a modded hardware website. They're not obviously putting that in this article for reasons. But it is a website that sold devices that allowed you to get around piracy protection and included the popular MiG Switch flash cart. Ryan Daly's been informed by the judge he must pay £2 million to Nintendo and close the website, which can only be seen as a win by the Kyoto-based company against piracy. Also this week, Nintendo has won in the courtroom against Justin's favorite accessory provider, Genki, as the court awarded Nintendo damages.
And as was previously said, not sponsored by Genki.
Yeah, they awarded Nintendo damages based on Genki 3D printing the Switch from files that it obtained online and showing it off at the Consumer Electronics Show earlier this year. Justin, I want to ask you this business-wise. Is Genki going to make it through this? Because I really like those guys.
Well,
are they gonna? Is this gonna shut them down or?
Yeah. So before we have a conversation about Genki, the £2 million one is sort of funny. Just for a quick note, the guy decided not to go with a lawyer, and that he'd watched enough Law and Order that he was going to defend himself.
No.
Yep. And he lost. So
yeah,
something to think about. I thought that was an interesting wrinkle to that one. At that point, the Nintendo could have been like, just send in Wario. He'll do the job. It's fine. He's let's talk Genki. So we are not sponsored by Genki, although we have received full transparency. I want to be fully transparent here, right? We have received products from Genki. I liked Genki prior to Genki sending us free stuff. We all have, I think, Genki products. Prior to it, we supported them on Kickstarter. I love their covert dock, by the way, for the Switch 1. Like, it was part of my top accessories for Nintendo Switch, which was amazing. We had an opportunity to, when we were in PAX East, hang out with Eddie and his team over at the Genki booth, and I got some hands-on with some stuff. It was interesting because they had just been freshly sort of hit with that lawsuit from Nintendo, and you could tell it was sort of a topic you didn't really want to talk a lot about, right? I was like, so, and he's like, yeah, the Nintendo thing, hey? Yeah, he's like, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out. We'll go from there. We're gonna keep pushing and keep doing. And they did. And I think if you look at the article, and there's a great article actually, IGN has it written up as well. It was definitely from their CES showtime there, where they basically had a 3D printed model. They knew all the dimensions and schematics. It's interestingly enough that they knew all the dimensions and schematics, but if you actually find out or following Genki sort of since the launch of Switch 2, two of their products, the Attack Vector 2 and the Sleeper Case, both were sort of not product recalled, but had to have second versions made because the dimensions were slightly off on the actual. It would have been the Attack Vector. The case was actually just the zipper, so that wasn't anything to do with the model of the Switch. But the structure around they had to do some tweaking of it. Whether that's because they didn't have the actual schematics perfectly is tough to say as well. Interestingly enough, the other things I will say that Genki has been essentially, we're awarded for damages. We don't know what those damages are, by the way. There was an undisclosed court document, so we don't know that. But they also can't use the term glitch, glitch 2, Genki Direct, or Genki Indirect, or any other similar branding or approximation that would be associated with Nintendo properties. When we were at PAX East, again, shortly after the lawsuit, they had a sign, a sticker on stuff that said, we are not directly affiliated with Nintendo. And so one of the challenges that they're sort of basically claiming is that Genki was claiming that essentially they were with Nintendo, and they had all this information there. So they were a Nintendo quality product in some ways. Right. And so they essentially had to be no, not true, not us. And so they had to really make sure that they were stepping away from that. Will Genki be okay? That's a great question. I don't know how much the damages are that they're seeking, or that they're gonna be end up paying. What's the risk versus reward? I mean, it's interesting, right? Like any accessory company, you want to be out there at the very beginning of when a new product comes out, so that everybody buys your product, right? And that's the truth of like them sending us literally accessories for us to promote them as influencers. Like the agreement is that we're essentially a marketer, right? Like, hey, try these products out. Tell your audience about them. Why they may or may not be valuable. Our objective whenever we get those things is to be authentic and to be real. But when you think of a new console, a new platform, you want to be the first out of the gate so that you capitalize on as much of the potential sales as possible. Genki very much did that. And to do that, they pushed the limits a little bit further than they wanted to, right? You sort of like, how many times can I push on the fence and find out whether it's electrocuted? Eventually they turn on the electrocution and you get it, right? And that's sort of the situation that Genki found themselves in. Side part, like, I still think their products are absolutely amazing. All of my stuff is decked out in Genki gear. I think it's like it's awesome. I support it regardless of this decision from Nintendo, because I think it's just a high quality premium product, and it was a high quality premium product prior to this and prior to the Switch 2 when they did the release of their other products, like the Covert Dock 2 as well, or Covert Dock. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I sure hope they don't end up closing up shop.
You hate to see it, because they do make such quality products, and they have been I mean, like, their early stuff was so good for Nintendo Switch users who needed an alternative solution, right? Like, especially like when you think about the fact that Genki started as a way to connect Bluetooth headphones to the Switch.
Yep.
Right. And it grew from there. And I think this is like, I compare their CES showing to the story of Icarus.
Someone said that in the chat here. Yep.
Like, it's you flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo wasn't like shutting them down. It wasn't even throwing shade on them. They were letting it, like, they were humming along, doing the covert dock, doing all those things. It was working great. And then you go to CES and you pull a plastic Switch 2 out of your pocket, and it's like, look at this, guys, because we're tired of waiting. It like, at the time, like, I'm walking a fine line seeing that, because I'm like, oh, this is really cool. But at the same time, I'm also like, oh, they are going to get nailed to the wall.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
And I don't know if it's their marketing that's just really good. Like, literally today I received an email from Genki which said, hey, you still have a couple products in your basket. Do you want to check those out now? So I don't know if they were like, need some extra dollars, so please make sure you're cashing the stuff out. I don't 100% know. I apparently left a couple items in there because I think I was checking on some savings.
It kind of reminds me of all of the drama with D-Brand a few years ago, where they made these PlayStation faceplates because Sony made like 5 copies of the black faceplates, and then they were like, yeah, we're gone, they're done. And so D-Brand was like, we'll do it. And then as soon as they did it and it got popular, Sony stepped in and was like, no, you're not doing this. We're shutting you down. So now they have their own like shaped PlayStation 5 plates.
And you do have to remember, like, Nintendo has agreements with specific brands. Power A is a great example. Power A products that are Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 focus are licensed by Nintendo. They've got the Nintendo seal of approval, right? So they have their own accessories that they do, and then they have a third-party accessory that they agree to work with. Whereas Genki was none of those things. Genki was just a complete third party who's doing their own thing. And again, sort of the Icarus, they flew a little bit too close to the sun. And if there's any company you don't want to and the reality is that we all sort of like saw it coming, right? Like when it was announced, you're like, that's gonna suck. When is it gonna suck? I don't know, but it's gonna suck.
Yeah. And it's funny because on their show this week, Kit and Krista also talked about how Nintendo has a dedicated team that only handles leaks. Like it's their job. And this was a quote from Krista on the show. She said they are very elite, they are very good at their jobs, and they will solve these cases.
I kind of going like the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Direct leaks that have been kind of going like for the like, hey, it's this. I get a little bit like spidey senses tingling of like, if you hear a lot of noise about a Direct and then all of a sudden a Direct doesn't occur, we all get like really mad at Nintendo, right? Like, oh, they're supposed to occur. I would say from a internal audit, quality, compliance, leak perspective, sometimes you give misinformation to find out where it's coming from.
Yep.
Right. And so I think what we may have been seeing over the last several months may have been a lot of like rooting out misinformation to determine, if I tell Marty this date, I tell Tim this date, and I tell Jesse this date. Right. And I think it's one of the three of them. Inevitably, whichever date hits the intranet of, oh, I think it's this, and we can kind of collaborate and figure that out. Then I can figure out it's Jesse who's leaking it. Now we have a conversation. Right. And so I do think that some of those things probably have been happening over the last little bit as well.
Well, and everybody knows that among the four of us, Jesse would be the leaker.
Oh, my God. Totally.
Right. Yeah. He's just an open.
Jesse's already told us what the Switch 3 looks like.
I know. It's like, I can't believe it. As we round up our news here, here's a couple of releases that you need to be aware of and some updates on those. Bubsy in the Perfect collection is out now, as well as Garfield Kart 2, All You Can Drift. Both of these games are out there right now.
The number one kart game of 2025.
If
Garfield.
you'd like to punish yourself this weekend, it's probably the number one kart game that got released on September 10th. Let's be honest. Also, Lego Voyagers is out next week. There is going to be a Switch 2 version of this game that was confirmed this week. Also, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is out on the 25th. Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilise Chronicles, both for Switch and Switch 2. Two separate versions on September 30th. Lego Party's out that day as well on the 30th. And Nicktoons The Dice of Destiny out that day as well. And then if you're waiting on Borderlands 4, yes, it's out this week for other systems, but it will be on Nintendo Switch on October 3rd. Although our good friend of the show, Jeff Grubb, was live right before we went online, and he was talking about how Borderlands 4 is having problems across the board, it seems. It's not just the Switch 2 version that people were popping up and saying, oh, it's got performance issues. This on the PS5 version, the Xbox Series S and X versions, possibly due to the Unreal 5 engine.
Possibly due to your Unreal 5 engine.
My engine's pretty unreal. With that being said, let's talk about this Nintendo Direct, guys.
Oh gosh, I got nothing for you. That's chat. Before we get into this, let us know your predictions. Throw them in the chat. I see lots of people here joining us from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Throw your predictions. What are you hoping is going to be at this Nintendo Direct in literally less than 12 hours? Yep. 60 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. This is as big as this is a chunky boy. This is as big as this is a dad size Direct. You know what I'm saying?
60 minutes, full on Nintendo first party and third party Direct. They're actually letting people into the Nintendo New York store to watch it tomorrow. They don't always do that with Direct.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that.
No,
it says you can come in the morning at I think they open doors an hour early, and it's first come, first served. So
did they say third party there as well?
I mean, I'm just saying that usually in these big directs, you get some first party, third party.
Cool. Sorry, I thought I missed a comms where they were like, we'll also have, and I was like, whoa.
No. That was just me. Okay. That's me talking.
Cool.
So here's what we're going to do. We are going to give you our predictions for tomorrow's Nintendo Direct. Some of these may be way out in the left field. Some of these may be spot on. Justin said we needed to have 5. I overachieved. I have 9.
I have 12.
So why do you tell us 5 then? And then you always roll
because the deal is no, I always roll with more because someone's going to take them, right? And so I'm going to be like, I'm going to cross that off.
Sure,
you got to have a backup.
Sure. There may be some that get crossed off. So we're going to do this just like we do our yearly prediction show. We're going to snake draft it. And so, gentlemen, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to make it fair. All right. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 20. And whoever gets closest gets to go first. And then they pick the next person. So I have my number. Who wants to give me their number?
3.
13.
Okay.
18.
The number was 17. So Justin, you're going to go first. And so snake draft, you'll mention one, then you'll pick the next person. It will go to the end. They'll do 2. It'll loop back around.
Guys, I like to make this more interesting.
14.352.
Let's make this more interesting. We're going to score it, and winner gets something.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. How about this?
Yeah.
Winner gets pizza delivery.
Done. All right. So scoring this, and here's the other thing we can say to this group. We are going to grade on low, medium, and high difficulty. Low, you get 1 point. Medium, 3 point. 5 for difficult. Is that fair? So I could say this is a 1 point, and you might be like, actually, or I might say it's a 3 point. You're like, actually, it's a 1 pointer. Is that fair?
Yeah, sure. I'm okay with that.
We'll figure it out.
Drink enough coffee for this.
Okay.
I'm okay with that, Justin.
That's fine.
Okay. We're gonna start with a 3-pointer. Because there's some low-hanging ones. Yeah, I'm going to go 3-pointer. Hades 2, Shadow Drop tomorrow. I'm going to go over to Mr. Timothy off because I know, like, there's a 1-pointer that I just let it be. And I was like, I'm not going to give it to you because I think you could take it. And Tim, it's a gift. Tim, what is your prediction?
So I know probably we all thought of doing something Metroid Prime 4-ish. So I have something as well, but I wanted to be a little bit more out there with it. Okay. Which is my prediction is Metroid Prime 4 is going to be shadow dropped digitally.
Whoa!
And
so what are we saying? What are you saying? That 3 or 5?
I'm saying that's a 5.
I think that's a 5.
I'm saying that's a 5, and then they'll also announce the physical release date coming later.
Spicy. Spicy.
Okay.
Tim?
Let's go. I'm going to go with the order here. Make it easy. We'll go with Marty.
Okay. So what do we do in the case that somebody picks one of ours? Do we just go ahead and say, hey, that was one of mine?
No. Can you modify it to either you take it and either you dial it down or you dial it up?
Oh, okay.
So for example, I'll use a great. So just for context, Marty. So you could say for like Tim's, Metroid Prime 4 will be revealed, and we'll get the announcement of the date there. And I would say that's a 1-pointer.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go for. I mean, that is one, but so if somebody else can have it, but I'm going to go ahead and I'll do mild. I'm going to be like Justin. I'll do a 3. I'll do middle of the road right here. And I will say that the next batch of Nintendo Switch 2 editions will be revealed during this direct.
Ooh.
Next batch.
Sorry, are you saying it's a 3?
That's a 3.
Yeah. So if we were spicing that, we were putting it to a 5, we would then say the details of it and what games do we think it is. Cool.
Yeah. So, and when I say Nintendo Switch 2 editions, what I mean by that is paid upgrades for Nintendo first party games.
Okay.
A la Kirby and Mario Party Jamboree, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. Jesse Waldeck.
Well, I was purposely trying to avoid the this game will get a release date because there's expect like 4 or 5 of them. But one thing I did, so this, I know this might, I'll let you guys decide if it's a 1 or a 3, but instead of talking about Metroid Prime 4, I decided to go Metroid Prime 2 Remaster will be shown.
Okay. It's a snake draft. Jesse's going back to you.
Oh,
I say that's a 3.
I say that's a 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. Probably another 3-year. Was naming a specific game that'll get the Nintendo Switch 2 edition treatment. I'm thinking Super Mario Wonder.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, that's a low. Yeah, well done. That's on my list for sure, Jesse. Good for you, bud.
Nice.
Oh, so my turn?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to swing for the fences. Here's my 5 prediction, and this may be the only one. But Nintendo will reveal a dual screen attachment for Nintendo Switch 2 alongside DS games for Nintendo Switch Online.
Believe it or not, I had that on my list too. So, and I did not pick more to try to dump it and have something else, but I have a couple extras, but we'll see. I did have that on there as they were going to, part of that 60 minutes is going to be talking about that new accessory for the second screen. So I agree with that, but I'll add this in. I think a lot of people have been talking about this, but that second screen I don't think was part of that conversation, and that is a new Super Mario Brothers collection for the 40th anniversary will be announced. That will have the DS new Super Mario game and the 3DS new Super Mario Brothers game and I think was it a Wii game? All the new
Mario 3D World.
No, just the new Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And because it has the DS and 3DS games, that's when it would utilize that second screen. That's why I was going to bring that up too. So, and I was going to say it would be called New Super Mario Brother All Stars.
Okay. Justin, you've got 2.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 2 3-pointers. Maybe it's not 2 3-pointers.
Tim, is that one of the 3?
3. Okay. So here's the hypothesis. The hypothesis is that it's a 60-minute direct. 40 minutes, that would be our core typical direct that we get. And then 20 minutes is going to be kind of a celebration and conversation around the 40th anniversary of Mario. That's sort of the hypothesis, at least. I believe that at this direct, we will get a teaser, clip, or first trailer to the new Super Mario Brothers movie that is coming out next year. I'm going to say that's a 3-pointer. My next, I'll let you guys tell me whether you think this is a 3 or 5. Assassin's Creed Shadows will be announced coming to the Nintendo Switch.
I would say a 3.
I think a 3 is fair.
I'm stepping away for a second to let my dog out to go pee, so I'll be back. Okay. But I think it's Tim's call, right?
Yes.
Jesse, you're going to say something, though?
So that's just announced, not for probably next year sometime.
Yeah, I would say probably dated 2026, I would say, or like coming to Nintendo Switch.
I'm not going to say that in my notes. I'm just saying the game will be announced.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, I'll be right back.
Trying to catch all of everybody's stuff in here in the chat. But all right, my next one is
Well, hey Tim, let's do this.
I will say
since Justin had to step out to let the dog go. What about some of those from the chat? Why don't we share some of those, and then that way he's back for your prediction.
Okay.
Cool.
I haven't got them all.
Oh,
I'm trying to
okay.
get them all. But let me.
What did I miss?
Almost done.
So my suggestion was, since you had to go let the dog out, that we do some of the predictions from chat.
Oh, it was
so
quick.
that you were back for Tim's next prediction.
Okay.
But you're back now.
Nefrendo is like unloading on predictions here, so I'm trying to catch up on all his stuff here. So, all right. So my next thing is going to be probably a one-pointer, because I think we know about this one. We'll get a release date for Professor Layton and the New World of Steam.
Yep. Okay. I will do a one-pointer as well. And that is that we will get a release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yep.
I think this one's probably a one-pointer. I had this written down before all the leaks started of the upcoming movie have already come out, but I put the Mario Brothers movie 2 will have the new cast members announced.
Okay.
So I'd call that a one-pointer.
All right.
And it's mine
and then
again.
Jesse gets the second one.
So going back to the Switch 2 edition treatment, I said Pikmin's 3 and or 4.
Okay.
3 point.
Ooh, okay. So I will let you guys pick. I have a 1 point, a 3 point, and a 5 point.
I think swing wide, sweet chariot.
You want the 5 pointer one? Okay, I'm going to say it before anybody else does then. Smash 6 or a Fighter Pass 3 will be announced tomorrow.
Wow.
That's crazy. You're living on the edge there, sir.
So
is that my I don't think I have any more crazy ones. I don't know what you guys think. Well, I might have one, but I don't know what you guys think about this one, if this is a 1 or a 3, but maybe this will make it a 3 if I say both of these things. For NSO, a new system and a new incentive will be announced.
What's the new system?
For NSO?
What's the new system for NSO?
That would make it a 5 if I say the system.
I'm curious, like, what systems remain other than Virtual Boy?
Virtual Boy.
Well, but if you go back to the Virtual Console, there's other systems that they got games for that have not appeared yet on NSO.
Okay.
Also, could be DS if we get that second screen.
Yeah. Okay.
In a partnership with Atari and television games.
And there you go.
Get your paddle controller soon on the store.nintendo.com.
Again, that's where my prediction was going to go with the second screen, was that, there's going to be a lot of things playing into that if that second screen comes to fruition tomorrow.
Okay. Justin.
Man, oh man. Do you swing wide or
swing wide? Do it. You haven't gotten a 5 yet.
All right.
Yeah, you've only got a bunch of 3s.
Yeah, it's covering your bases. We will get a tease of Animal Crossing coming next year.
Mm.
And I'm not, so I am. I'm almost tempted to make this a weird one. So I'll shake out what I'm thinking here. Actually, I'll just start with this. Do you feel that's a 3 or a 5?
That's a 5. I think that's a 5.
A 5. That's a 5.
Okay. Because I have a variation in my brain, which is either they're teasing it for being a brand new game, or it's the buckle on Marty's. This is the next patch of Switch 2 editions. And it's like the Switch 2 edition of New Horizons comes out in 2026 with like the new Animal Crossing game being like 2028. And
so
the reason
are you going with?
I know this. I'm like,
because if you say if it's a Switch
if you want to
two
one or
edition,
the
that
other,
should be a 3.
I would just say that 3.
If it's a new game, that's a 5.
I'm going to go wide. I'm going to say it's a new game.
Okay.
And then I got one more, right?
Yes.
This may be this is okay. Xbox shows up with Sea of Thieves. What do you guys think? 3, 5? What do you call?
I think that's a 3.
I think it's a 3.
Okay.
That's a 3.
I have some honorable mentions here for later, but I'll wait for all of you to go first because they may be covered. Those are mine.
Feeling that my last one you're not going to have.
Timbo.
Sorry?
He says you're not going to have his last one.
Okay.
That means it's
right.
Picross.
Right.
Maybe.
Concord 2 coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Yes, Ninfrendo.
Awesome.
I am.
Which will be live for 2 days before they shut it off.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 weeks.
I'm gonna try this again.
Yeah, sorry, Tim. Sorry, we're off the rails. We apologize. He gave us a look. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was a look like.
No, it's like every time I said something, somebody else talked. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. You're gonna do it again, aren't you, Marty? All right. I'm gonna say that it's gonna go with a Rockstar port or announcement of either because it's a port or new game because it's either going to be a port of say Red Dead 2 or GTA something, or maybe we just get the announcement.
GTA 5 is possible. Yeah, that's a 10-year-old game. Or
we get the announcement of the new games like GTA 6. We'll get an announcement that GTA 6 is coming to the Switch too.
So what are you doing? What are you sitting in here, buddy? Are you locking in for port or are you locking in for announcement?
Same rules apparently will be what we give Justin if it's 1 with a 5-pointer, but if it's the either or, it's the 3.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time picking what Rockstar would do, but I would say I'll go with a port.
Port of just a port.
We'll get a port. That's even harder. Is like, are we gonna get Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA something?
That's what I think. It's Red Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way too, but also I wouldn't be surprised if they said GTA 5 on the Switch. you know, if they feel like 6 won't be able to go on the Switch too, you know.
Yeah.
So why not make some more money off of that one, right?
Right. Yeah, I'll just say port for now. I would take GTA Chinatown as a even if they did like a like a remaster or something for
HD
bringing
remaster.
over. Yeah, that I would play that game again.
That was
game
on
is
DS,
awesome.
right? That was pre 3DS.
That was on DS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boys, I've got a few left. But I think no, I may have a couple more threes. I've done all my big ones. So let me go with the threest three that I have. Okay, and here it is. Mario Kart World DLC will be announced featuring Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Paid or free?
I'm gonna go.
And also
do I have to make a distinction?
No. I was just curious.
I'm not making a distinction. No,
I was sorry. It was just more of a conversation piece. Do you think it's part of a booster pack, or do you think it's just a standalone?
So no, here's what I think. I think we'll get, because you know how that the world is there.
Yeah.
How easy is it to add a single track if you have this open world, right?
Yeah.
It can connect to different things. So I think we're going to see.
That's easy.
I think we're going to see two. I think we're going to see 3 new racers.
Just throw out a portal on the map, which will take you to a new map. Then you can
Sure.
do whatever the hell you want.
Right.
So I'm going to say 3 new racers. Pauline, young Pauline, like baby Pauline. It's almost like adding a baby, right? Version of some of the characters. So baby Pauline or young Pauline, Diddy, and K. Rool. And I'm basing this on fact, and here's why. The Japanese voice actor of K. Rool is credited in the credits of Mario Kart World.
Nice.
So I think you get those, and we get maybe one more cart, because people have probably unlocked all those by now. One more cart and maybe a new map. I would love to see a new map.
One that
I
looks like
honestly
the Rhino.
would love. I would really love to see a map based on New Donk City. But
that'd be awesome.
We'll see.
That'd be fun.
Or you know what would be a fun map too, and I know y'all hated it, so I'm not. Is the Divide would be a really fun map. Really fun track.
I think I was the only one who said that hated that board.
Well, I think it'll be good, but I think there's going to definitely be some DLC. Justin, if I'm leaning, if you made me say, I think they're going to make it free as a gesture of goodwill.
Yep, I think so too.
And it may even be out today, but we'll see. All right,
Okay.
Jesse.
So I think just because of the series that it's highly unlikely. So I'm going to argue it might be a 5, but if y'all want to say it's a 3, I'm not going to argue too hard. But I'm going to say that a new Dragon Quest remake will be announced. And based on the rumors, it'll probably be 7, but I'm hoping for 9 because that game has been locked on the DS since 2006.
I'll take a 5 on that.
I'll give you a 5
on that one.
Yeah, I'll give you a 5. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty big swing.
All right. So that's all I got. I don't have any others. So if y'all have honorable mentions, we can throw those in.
Yeah, Marty, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So we just want to do all these at once. Honorable mentions.
Yeah, just run them down.
I have a couple.
You got a couple too, Timmy?
Yep.
Timmy.
Okay. So I'll do all mine, and then we'll just go up the list and do all our honorable mentions. Here's the first one. And some of these I was going to consider as like a point score type thing, but I think maybe they're just a little more given. Elden Ring release dates.
Yeah, that's a given.
During tomorrow's direct. A new 3D Mario will be announced.
Yeah, I had that as a teaser, right? Like sort of a we've got one last thing in the Mario section of it, like, because I think it'll be 2 very separate sections, right? Okay. I think they'll do like a one last One last thing from Mario section, and I think it's like a, I think it's announced for 2026, and I think it's sort of like a, you get like 15 seconds of movement and action, and like, you know, a cap or something is thrown across the screen or something like that, and it like indicates, you know, what the game is called or whatever.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Another one here. Marvel Rivals comes to Nintendo Switch 2.
Oh, that's such a good one, Marty. That's a great pull.
And then I have two more, and then I've got one. Well, actually, I have three more, but you'll knock the last out. But okay. Peak will be shadow dropped.
Yes. Great. Yeah.
2, and then for the last one, Power Wash Simulator 2 announced for Switch 2 with a release date.
Wasn't it announced for Switch 2?
Not seen any release date for it yet.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. Sorry.
It doesn't have a release date on any system.
Oh, okay.
And for my last honorable mention, unfortunately, Silksong will not feature in this direct.
Love it. Love it. Tim.
I thought one of you guys were going to mention this, but something about the new Super Mario Galaxy film.
We did.
Some information about that. Did someone say something about that?
Well, I mentioned the teaser trailer will be shown for it.
And I mentioned that the new cast members will be announced.
Okay, my bad. Oh yeah, I see that. All right, my bad. I was distracted by my cat.
But I wrote this down before the title was leaked by multiple ads that I've seen floating around.
By Old Spice?
Old Spice is one, yeah.
That we would also get a release date for Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Ooh, please. Man, I've forgotten about that game. That's a good one.
And then this was probably going to be the 5-pointer. It was one of my crazy predictions, but I saved it for honorable mention because it was too crazy. But part of the reason why we are having a 60-minute direct, because it was going to be almost like a partnership with Xbox, and we were going to get a schwack load of Xbox game announcements.
I still need Master Chief Collection to come out this year on Switch 2, so I count for my year-end points.
Yep. But I'm really just hoping for Forza Horizon 5 and Diablo 4 to come on to the Switch too. So
I like it.
That's it.
All right, Justin. Tee him up and knock him down.
Okay. Metroid Prime 4 will be released on October 31st. That will also be the first game that's shown at this direct. They will also tell us that a Metroid Prime exclusive direct will be coming in the coming weeks.
That's a lot.
Hyrule's Warriors something.
Imprisoning War?
Yeah, is going to be slated for January. Assassin's Creed Mirage will also be announced. Death Stranding will be announced. We're going to see a lot of Resident Evil games coming over because Capcom be happy and wanting to send over stuff.
I think that's a given. That's a good prediction too.
Super Mario Galaxy 2 will be part of some sort of collection bundle for the 40th anniversary. I don't know what else is in that collection bundle, but Super Mario Galaxy 2 will be like re-released for a limited time only, similar to what they did with the 35 one, and then you have like 6 months to get it and then it's gone. I don't know if it's physical, and I don't know what other games it would be with. Also, there's going to be some sort of clothing collaboration to highlight Nintendo Mario, including like some shoes from Puma or something. And I will look amazing wearing them.
If you can get some.
Damn right. That's my list.
Your modesty. I love your humility.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is my list.
All right. We've got some from the chat, right? Woo. Tons.
Yeah, we have a bunch of stuff.
Let's look at these community responses and questions. Yeah, Tim?
I was saying we got community responses.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Well, I'm just going to go down this list because there's a bunch and it's good. Koopa Kid 80 asks, at what point does a direct get too long? At 60 minutes, at what point do you show too much that the hype focus gets spread too thin among dozens of titles or announcements? I'm excited for an hour-long direct, but just wondering if there's a more poignant, direct way of focusing on upcoming titles. Would love to hear your thoughts.
I think the only way that they could have done better, and again, I'm assuming this is a split of a 40-20 split, would be if they had a separate Mario direct for the anniversary. 40 minutes is typically what they do, and it's a pretty beefy direct there. So and we're all assuming they didn't say, like, here's the thing. They didn't say it in the actual direct or the announcement that they were celebrating Mario's 40th. We all just know it's Mario's 40th on Friday. Mm-hmm. Also, they never have a direct on a Friday, right?
So I'm going to throw this out here. Do you remember when they announced the virtual game card thing and it was just like sandwiched in the middle of a bunch of other game announcements? Yeah. And like, it was like, oh, this is a break. And oh, there's something new. I think they're going to do that. I think that's how they're going to break it up.
Yeah. And I do think, I think there'll be a lot of sort of explanations. I think, like, here's the thing. Nintendo here's sort of answering your question. This is Nintendo's moment 6 weeks or 4 weeks prior to when people really start buckling in for holiday spending. Mm-hmm. Nintendo has to make a case right now why getting on board with the Nintendo Switch 2 this year, right now, is really a great idea for you. And so they have to really come out of the gates with absolute bangers to be able to do that and show you that they have a plan not only for this year about the value that you're doing, why this should be under your Christmas tree, but also what you're going to be playing early next year that will entice you and bring you in. That was one of the reasons why I talked about, like, I think Animal Crossing being shown pretty early, whether it is the Switch 2 version or whether it is a new version, because we know that will move mountains. That will move cycles for sure as well. So I think is it too long? I don't know. We've also been in a bit of a drought for a while, I think. And I think as consumers, we need to understand what that second wave is, what their second strategy is post-launch. And here's their opportunity.
I like it.
Steve has the 100 point prediction.
Okay. And it is?
The Nintendo Dads will.
Nintendo
Dads is mentioned. I would love that.
I will say this right now, Steve. If Nintendo Dads is mentioned, I will buy you a pizza. All right, you win. You win the bet. Okay.
There you go. Here's some more from the community. Bolt 1121 says, I'm going to make a wild guess and say Nintendo will launch Metroid Prime 4 on December 25th, 2025. Call of Duty is not coming to Switch 2 this year. Yeah. Next year's Call of Duty will make its way to Switch 2. Quag 311 says, I will triple dip on Far Cry 5 and Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Switch 2 ports, Twilight Princess HD, Mario Odyssey 2, and Dr. Mario. Those are my 5 wishlist games. Claire Obscure is the most likely. Beer Cerveza says Mario Sunshine 2. Put your money on it. Matt Nelson from YouTube says, prediction, they will release Metroid Prime 4 and Metroid Prime 5 out now.
Nice.
Ms. 1K3 says, I need to see more Metroid Prime 4 and a new Mario, and I hope it's not Wonder DLC. Also, a remaster of New Super Mario Brothers 2 would be great. Ninfrendo unloads the chamber here with all of this. Galaxy 2 will be included in the 30th anniversary edition of Mario 3D Collection. Mario is Missing featuring Wart and Carmen Sandiego. Mario Kart World gets a course creator mode like Forza Horizon. Star Fox gets a Starlink standalone game. Chronicle X gets a Switch 2 update, and Monolith announces a sequel. That's very likely. Mega Man Z announced as a new series. Trauma Center comes to the Switch.
Series spelled with a Z?
Yes, I would love the Trauma Center thing. Mutant League Sports game Ace Attorney or Cooking Mama Beach Volleyball, and Ice Climbers Winter Sports, similar to SNES or NES Track and Field. You need to go to bed. Darth Platypus 77 says Ocarina of Time remake gets announced. Zero games announced from Xbox. GTA 6 1 month exclusive on Switch 2. Beer Cerveza also says, I'm going to go with a new Mega Man. Marty, is your background a hint to one of your picks? No, it's not. Victaris GX, Mario Movie 2 cross FNAF Movie 2 cross promotion.
Nice.
Star Wars Dad says new Zelda announcement, and Facebook Nora said Nora off. Look at there, Tim. Says it's strange to hear everyone else, not just Tim's side. That's a spoiler, not a prediction. Anyway, those are your predictions. Those are our predictions. Let's talk about what we've been playing.
Do it.
All right, Jesse, what you been playing?
Well, I've not had a lot of time to get deep into any other game, so I've just kind of been cherry picking what little time I have. Since I finished the last Picross game, I've went back with Picross S8 and Picross S9 and kind of redid puzzles that took longer than they probably should have, to see if I can shave time off, because it'll save the best time for each puzzle, and then on the grand total time spent, we'll add them all up. So, between S8 and S9, I probably shaved off like 2 hours of time just by redoing puzzles faster. 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, things like that. I wanted to go back and finish the rest of the puzzles in that Professor Layton game that I started, but didn't get around to doing that. I was hoping to do that this afternoon, but my wife had other plans she wanted my assistance with. So that's why I didn't get that done. So I'm hoping to maybe do that this week. But those are really all I've been playing this week.
All right. What about you, Tim?
So played a few games. I tried out that Forsaken 64 game that came out on Nintendo 64's NSO app, because I really liked, one of my favorite games back in the day was Descent on the PC. So that game looked like it had some similar type gameplay. So I jumped in, and of course I had to change the controls, which actually worked out pretty well. Once I figured out what I wanted to change, the ability in game to change your controls was pretty easy, because all I had to do was just pick the button and swap it and do that kind of stuff, and it saved for that game. So I was able to play a pretty good chunk of it and get a feel for the game. The only thing that I was missing, because of it being an older game like that, it didn't have a map. So I was so turned around in so many different places and just trying to get oriented, and it's very dependent for you to move on. In order to move on, it's dependent on you clearing the stage. So you got to know where all the enemies are. And I had no idea where I hadn't been yet because of the 3D map. You got to find all the nooks and crannies of the board to be able to move on to the next level. So
I distinctly remember, and again, if you are, for some of our younger listeners, you will have never experienced this. But in the 90s, if you wanted to play a video game you didn't own, you had to go to a video game store or a movie store and rent it. And there wasn't an exceptionally large amount of information about the games that you picked up. It was a box, you looked at it a couple times, you made a decision, you brought it up to the kiosk, and they gave you your game cartridge in another plastic bin that you then took home for typically the weekend, and it cost you, I can't remember how much it would cost to rent. I remember renting Forsaken, coming home and playing it for about an hour and being so disappointed that I rented that game. And how incredibly frustrated I was with that game. So when the trailer showed up that Forsaken 64 was coming and I watched it, it like triggered a memory in the back of my head that I had somehow like pushed down, that I just like, no, I'm not doing this. I can't deal with this. I want my $5 back.
PTSD.
Yeah, I remember being so frustrated with that game.
Yep. I think that I probably would have too.
Did like it cause like a taste of like Little Caesars pizza to rise in the back of your throat?
Little Caesars pizza, a little bit of Doritos and Orange Crush, right? All sort of came back in one fuming moment.
I had the same thing happen with Quest 64.
Yeah.
At our age, that's just acid reflux.
That's right. Yeah. It could be, you know what it could be, Tim? It could be bad cheese.
It could be bad cheese. That is the other
I remember I
game
tried renting Quest 64 and I had no idea what was going on.
Oh, the beaded curtain in Friendo. That's a reference of slowly walking past the beaded curtain and slowly pretending like you weren't looking in what was occurring in the beaded curtain room. And if you all don't know what the beaded curtain room is, you're too young to be here.
That's when you got really good at looking out the side of your eyes.
Yeah, 100%.
Peripheral vision, 2020.
Yes. But as Marty mentioned, I did play the game Bad Cheese, which we have a first look out on. It uses that Steamboat Willie property that's now in public domain. So I played a little bit of that, and yeah, that's a thing. So it was.
Is it spooky?
It's supposed to be spooky. It was okay. It had your typical, it would have a couple of jump scare type things because it's dark and you're running around in dark corners trying to find stuff. But it was just more or less just not my thing. So it was okay. But I would say check out the first look and see if you guys are interested in that type of thing, where if you like the old animation type video games like Cuphead, but this is third person and it's very task oriented. It is kind of like that jump scare horror, I think is what it was given genre for. So I'm sure it gets a little bit more in depth as you play, but it wasn't interested. It didn't keep me interested. It was just kind of interesting to see the Steamboat Willie property used that way. But other than that, it just was kind of like, okay. So that for me, it's not my thing. So I probably won't play that much anymore. I also played some more Hollow Knight Silksong. I got through the first boss, and then got through starting this, into the next level, and then kind of stopped there. Because like I said, for a last minute belated birthday gift, I got Star Wars Outlaws and jumped into that and played some of that. And I'm enjoying that immensely. I like the stealth play in it. I like the story so far, and just kind of sneaking around and being a scoundrel. It's kind of fun.
How far into it are you, Tim? How many hours? Do you think?
Not too far. It's probably, I just played a couple hours to get going past the tutorial and get started in my first job, I guess, if you would say.
So for reference point, and spoiler alert for anyone, right? We're a couple hours into it. So you've got your ship, right? Have you got your ship already?
I just got dropped off to go sneak in to steal some money.
Oh, into okay, cool. Right. Oh, okay. I know where you're at then. Yeah, where they do early. They do a nice aerial shot of sort of the town, and they drop you off on a mountain essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Now keep in mind, when I play games that has a lot of nooks and crannies that you can find things in, I will be spending my time searching those nooks and crannies. I was able to find lots of credits that way to get my first achievement done. So, but yeah, I got to that point, and that's where I'm going to be picking it up and probably playing that on the big screen TV, because I want to see what it looks like in 4K.
Yeah, and so I've been playing Star Wars too, so maybe we'll sit in this pocket just for a couple moments. I don't know about you. I think it plays really well. I know there were some like people who were like, "Oh, it doesn't perform well. It looks like crud." I have not experienced any of that, and they all kind of walked it back. I think it plays really well.
The demo was a pre-build,
pre-release 100%.
Yeah.
I haven't found any issues. I find it really enjoyable. The only thing that sort of like just kind of gets me a little bit is I don't know why, but the texturing of her hair looks a bit weird and a bit like a Vaseline kind of premised haloed around it. I was like, man, like it's just like everything that you're just not doing that well.
Now I'm not going to be able to unsee that now.
It is sort of a like, what's going on there? It's Assassin's Creed as Star Wars is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I really am enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying the fact. And again, I'm probably, if I was to ballpark, I know where you are. I'd say I'm another 2, maybe 3 hours ahead of you.
Okay.
But very much enjoying kind of the stealth, very much kind of enjoying the environment, the world that's being created.
Yeah.
The character, right? The kind of the smuggler. It's not Jedi related. Right, it feels a bit more grounded. I think it performs really well in both handheld and on the big TV as well. I think it's great. I've been really, really enjoying it. The only thing that I have found, and maybe you'll find it when you get in, I got to a point past tutorial where you sort of open up, and all of a sudden, like I go into the menu, and there is a lot of tabs.
There's a lot of stuff there.
There is a lot of tabs and a lot of new, and there's a lot like there is a ton, like a little bit overwhelming in relation to like what are you trying to direct me to? Where am I trying to find my, like, what is the thing that you're wanting me to know for sure? Yes. So I found that a little bit overwhelming, but other than that, it's great.
Yeah. I found it very immersive too. Like I felt like I was in that world. And that's the way I felt when I played Outer Worlds. And I kind of get that same feeling while I'm playing this game, that Outer Worlds feeling, but obviously more Star Wars-ish. But again, like you said, there's no Jedi stuff. So if you're looking for the Jedi stuff, you're not going to get it. You might get disappointed in that. But I like this aspect. It's something different, and I like a good stealth game too. And I'm enjoying my time with it so far. Yeah. So cool. Go ahead, Justin.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about Silksong? Like, how far into it are you?
Like I said, I just finished that first boss, and right when I got past that next point, I just saved it and went and
cool.
Started Star Wars.
Okay, fair. And Marty, you haven't been. No one else is songing here.
No, I'm still in Hollow Knight.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I'll spend a bit. Obviously, I had my little meltdown earlier. Silksong is 13 hours I've put in since Thursday. Star Wars is probably 3 or 4 hours I've put in since Thursday. So both of these games, the interesting thing I found about this, and it's, both these games scratch very different itches for me of what I enjoy. And the really interesting thing I like about the two of them is sort of like, and I think the question was asked last week, and I put it as a poll, like which game am I quitting first? Is that I find like with Silksong, I can get really far and like get into a spot where I'm getting really frustrated, right? And then I'm like, cool, I need a break. I'm going to go play Outlaws, right? And then you make a bit of progress there, you feel a little bit good, and then you come back, you're like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of this. I think very much, I played a little bit of Hollow Knight, not enough to make an accurate depiction. Definitely didn't grab me the way that this has. I think Silksong, I think because of just so much of the hype cycle around it, so much of like what we heard from the developers about their approach, the fact that it's reasonably priced and they could have charged probably $50 or $60 for this game, but they didn't. Like, and I think the fact that like this game, I mean, this is, we talked about it before, this is the indie equivalent of GTA, right? There's no other game tomorrow in the YouTube chat, people are just going to be writing Silksong just because of the fact they've been asking for it for 7 years, right? And like, I have found it really engaging. It can be punishing and challenging. There is no doubt. If you are a person who like gets really frustrated if you can't get past a level or an area because you're getting beaten by a boss, this is probably not the game for you. And if you're looking for something to really handhold you, this is not the game for you. it does some good marking in relation to you kind of go this way, and early on, like you go to a vendor essentially and you're able to get a map and you're able to open those things up. But if you're looking for I've walked in this area and now it should just magically appear on my map. That is not the case. Like you can literally walk into an area, you hit your map button, and like it just shows like no map. And you're like, son of a gun. Right. And so now you're like, I need to find the merchant to buy the map so I know where I'm going. And that merchant moves. The merchant moves, and I didn't know that. And I spent a lot of so the thing that I find very interesting about it is that when you die, what you had accumulated at that spot kind of like stays there in a cocoon essentially. And if you find it, you regain all those things, which is great. But if you die before you re-find it again, all those things are lost. So if I was like trying to collect all these beads, that is the currency to buy the map, to go back to this merchant to buy the map. And I had spent literally an hour and a half finally beat this boss. I have the beads. I'm so excited. I go back and they have moved. And the heartbreak that I had in relation to that lady moving was deafening. And it went from like me being so excited that I finally beat these stupid 5 bird wave. And if you've played the game and you know the birds I'm talking about, they are a real pain in the butt. Like there is, and I was not fully loaded out with anything special, but I was just praying to the Silksong gods that we can make something happen here. The interesting thing about the game, if you haven't played it, is you kind of have like 5 or 4 kind of health bars. And as you get hit, you lose a health bar, as you would suspect. But if you hit enemies, you gain this feature, essentially they call it bind, which is if once that bar becomes full, you hit like A and it recharges all the life that you've lost. So when you go into, so like it ends up playing with your brain a little bit in regards to like, well, how many hits do I have to hit to activate that? And so great example is I went into this room with these 5 waves of bird enemies. And there's like, I know that there's big bird bosses, and then there's kind of little birds. Well, little birds are easy for me to kind of rebuild up. But I know my next thing is that I'm going to have a big boss. So I need to like replenish that. I need to actually like pull the trigger on that. So I fill my full bar up, and then I'm going to try and prepare. And then I'm going to try and stock up again. Right. So there's a little bit of like mechanics and like risk reward analysis that you're sort of doing to be strategically prepared for when I go in this fight. Do I have a full bar, and do I have a couple ticks that I can get? The other interesting thing that I sort of found out as I've been playing, and I guess this has happened in Hollow Knight as well, is that like the conditionals that you end up having. So I had gone down a couple days ago, found this stupid bird that we were talking about earlier, this Morrow wing, and I was getting my butt kicked. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go explore somewhere else and come back to it later. During my exploration, I happened to find a character who's just out there, and we have a bit of a conversation, yada, yada, yada. I continue to explore. Like, they don't do anything. Whatever. I continue to explore. I come back like 2 hours later, and just as I'm going down to go against this enemy, they're like, hey, there's a big bird down there, and he's pretty hard. Do you want help? Because I'll join you. And I was like, yes, I do. And so all of a sudden I go down and go against this enemy, Morrowwing. And all of a sudden I hear like the audio track of like, hee hee, here I come. And like this guy just like comes in, and he's like a companion, and he's just fighting on my behalf. And so I'm fighting him, he's fighting him, and he's getting his butt kicked. I'm getting and it was just like, what I found out later is like the conditionals of like, if you do this thing there, other things happen other places that you may completely pass, which have like no impact. And so it's the conditional parts of the like game that I find really fascinating. This game has really grabbed me, but it is very much a game that you will run into the wall several times and get frustrated. And if you are a gamer who like can't deal with that frustration and it's not the get good part of it. I don't like that statement, because what it's really about, and I was listening to someone talk about it, it's like being patient. right? Some of these boss fights are just being really patient. Okay, I know you do, this is your pattern. I know you do this, so I'm going to move over here and I'm going to wait and I'm going to strike you. And that's for one strike. And I'm going to move over here and I'm going to wait and I'm going to and yes, that means that boss fight may be 20 minutes, right? Or you continue to die every single time. And so I find myself going through these boss battles of be patient, be calm, be zen, right? And just try and go from there. So
I
I've been
associated it to being on the same level, and I'll probably compare it more to this as I play more Metroid Dread. So, because there was a lot of that difficult boss fights in that game too. So, and there were, a lot that I wanted to throw my Switch through the wall.
Yeah.
But, and there was those times where I was like, okay, I need to come back to this later. So I knew that coming into Silksong that it would be along those lines. And I think if anybody had played Metroid Dread and liked that game and was able to get through that, I think they could probably get through this. And it sounds like that this one's probably even harder than that. So, but
yeah, I would say having played Dread and having played this, Dread is hard. This is are you it's not really handholdy.
Yeah.
Right. Not that Dread was, but at least I felt like I knew what was going on. There are times I'm I have no idea.
Yeah, this one is harder too because you have to go buy that stupid map.
Yeah. Oh, and it was literally I was I got so frustrated. I got to a point I just Googled. I was where does this person randomly generate somewhere? And they're oh, actually, if you go to this village, there's a little stick right there on the top of this thing. If you hit it 3 times, a merchant appears. And I was really? Because had I known that 3 hours ago, I would have been done. Now I have a map, right? And those are just sort of pieces of okay, that's. But you get new abilities. I have ability now where I float, right? It's pretty fun. Those kind of things.
What I'm running into with Hollow Knight is the lack of funds. They dangle these carrots in front of you, oh, you here's this, and wouldn't it be great to have this ability, or wouldn't it be great to have this upgrade? And it's yeah, that's going to be $1,200,
Yeah. I would definitely say I don't feel
that.
Yeah, I don't feel that here at all. I mean, I do think the painful thing is sort of you've got a lot of beads, right? And then you're I gotta go find somewhere, and then you die, and you're I gotta go get those beads again, right?
Yeah.
That can be, but you can also get spots where you bank the beads, and so that you don't lose them as easily, and then you can use them where you need them. So I haven't really found that a bit. When I go to a shop, I'm never oh, I don't have enough. Typically, I can't buy the entire shop out, but I can definitely buy the things that I need. Okay, I need a map and I need map marker. Great, awesome, thank you. Moving on, right? So that's sort of been my thing. So
yeah,
Marty, what have you been playing?
So pixel lines and Fortnite mainly because that's what's out there, and a little bit of progression in Hollow Knight, but not much. The other game I've been playing, we got a code for today, is a cozy game called Fruitbus, where you take on the role of an animal who is in the tutorial. You're on vacation with your grandmother, and you're playing hide and seek, and she invites you to come over and make her a salad because the winner of hide and seek gets to cook for the other one. And so you discover that she has this thing that she calls the Fruit Bus. That's basically a food truck that she drives around and serves people food out of. And so the whole game is about gathering ingredients, driving to different places, and opening your little Fruit Bus stand and selling your wares out of that. And in the beginning of the game, she actually you have this moment with her, and then it picks up 10 years later, and she has passed away. And you have inherited the Fruit Bus. She's given that to you, and she's asking you to invite all of her family and friends to what she calls her farewell feast. And that you're going to serve them food, and everybody's going to honor her. It's her funeral, basically. And so while that sounds really morbid, the game is actually really charming. It's very unique in that not only do you do the crafting part of it and the foraging part of it, but there's the driving element where you drive between places. and you can actually outfit the Fruitbus like the way you want to, so you can buy items to build it out, like to build better counters or to build places on the wall for you to hang your utensils, baskets to hold ingredients, or decorative items for you to be able. And it's really fun. Like it's fun. Like you roll up into this town, and like you actually have the ability to open the stand when you want to and close it when you want to. Even all of the driving mechanics are really, it's interesting. Like you have to take the handbrake out, you have to start the van, you have to sit down, you can fiddle with the radio and play, different music.
So it's really going sim on that driving aspect.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just the graphics are very simple. It's kind of Animal Crossing-ish looking, but in 3D, like full 3D, because you're in first person. So I want to say this. I did a video on it today, and I got kind of frustrated during the video because it was like I played through the first part, and it gives you this hint like, hey, you need to go to the next town, and by the way, check out the gas station and get some supplies. So I figure that's the next thing to go do. Well, it's actually really not. The game does not do a great job of telling you what's next, but after playing it some more, what I realized is that's really the purpose. The purpose is for you to kind of get lost in the game. There's no time limits. The animals don't get mad at you if you don't, like, if they line up at the fruit at the thing and you don't have the right kind of fruit, they don't care. They just stand there, and you can go run around and go find it. And then eventually they'll wander off. And then the next day there's day night cycles. And the next day they'll come back and ask for their salad again. And so you have this crafting, foraging element, but you also have this story progression that you're going through. And I don't know that there's many games out there like it. So that was also a really unique control scheme where like almost everything in the game happens with the L and R buttons. So you'll, like, if you pick up something with L, it's in your left hand. If you pick it up with R, it's in your right hand. And then like you have to press those buttons to extend the hand. And then, so like if I have an apple in my right hand and I extend that, then in my left hand, if I've got the knife, then you hold down L to cut, to chop the apple. And then you have to put it in the bowl. And then you have to pick the bowl up and turn around and serve it. So I think it's meant to be slow. It's meant to be calming. It's meant
nitpicky.
It does, but I'd encourage you to check out the video. I didn't like, it was just kind of charming when we got the video for it, and I thought this is a change of pace from things I'm normally playing, where I'm like, blowing stuff up. Like I'm playing a lot of ninja games right now too, with Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden, and so it's like the antithesis of ninja games is we'll drive around in the Fruitbus and give the deer people apple salad. So I'd encourage you to check it out if you love Animal Crossing, or you love like, I don't know, like I kind of got the similar vibe. Do you remember the sticker making game that came out on Switch?
Yeah.
About a year ago or so, year and a half ago. It kind of gave me the same like kind of low key, slow, cozy vibes as that. And so yeah, and the story is pretty heartfelt too, as well. And so if you're into those things, then this would be one for y'all. So with that's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
And stay here, Marty. All right, it's time for the community spotlight. And Marty, before you drop off, we just wanted to let you know a couple things here. First is that we had a comment made in Patreon that said, I just want to say thank you for last week's time out from Marty about his children. This is from Simon Hawkins. I've never cried at a podcast before, but I was so moved by it. This is why I love this community. Thank you all so much for a great show, and good luck, Marty. We're all with you.
Wow.
So there you go, sir. You made someone cry.
Yeah.
No. Man, I feel like I should have listened to last week's episode.
It's not the first time. it will probably won't be the last. Thank you so much. That I don't know what to say, honestly. Just sharing, felt like it was a safe place.
Sharon's Karen.
Yeah, and that's why I love this show. I love this community. So thank you so much for that. Really.
Every now and then
Appreciate it.
we like to talk about parenting stuff,
Well, that's the dad's part of
The
the
dad's
title,
part of it, right?
you know. Yeah.
The other thing too, Marty, you wanted to say something about this comment or this question, which was from Jolly Old Krampus. What do you guys think regarding third-party docks and turning the Switch 2 into a very expensive paperweight? I've used a third-party dock on my OG Switch 1 for years without a problem, but all the talk online makes me worried to try on a Switch 2. The official dock is just unjustifiably expensive, though. I put a lot of hours. Oh, wait, that's another thing. But what do you think about that?
Yeah. So I just wanted to refer back to last week's episode and get you to go back and listen if you didn't catch it in the what we've been playing section. I actually talked about the Antank S3 Max travel dock for Switch 2. It's the dock, one of the dock solutions I'm currently using. And I saw some advertisements for it on Instagram and picked one up. It's pretty affordable. You can get it with or without Ethernet port. Of course, the one without the Ethernet port's a little cheaper. But what I would recommend for this is, and they recommend as well, is using the official Nintendo power supply, which you could pick up one of those at Walmart for like $35. And it ends up being way cheaper than Nintendo's Switch 2 dock solution, which is like $110, $120 now.
120 now with the second rate bump.
Yeah. So you're looking at about $60-$70 instead. And I've been using it for about 2 weeks and I've literally had zero problems. I think the difference is the power supply, but you can go back and check out that.
Yeah.
There's also it's antank.net is the website. Sometimes these are advertised as a Simu or Siwaku dock. It's the same thing. All right. It's the same thing. I think it's just a brand name change. But it's out there. Reviews on it are pretty good. But as always, like we said last week, your mileage may vary, right? So it's not like, don't take it as an official endorsement, but just know I'm switching back and forth between my office and my home with this. And that's what I'm using for it. And it's worked really well.
Wasn't
That's
there
Marty,
a
which-
model that supports both Switch 1 and Switch 2?
There is a
I
model that
believe
switches
it
both.
does.
Yeah. So Justin, you might want to look into that model. Justin.
I was actually gonna ask like which one you're looking at, because there's a 5-in-1 and then there's an S3 Max.
There's
So the one I have is the S3 Max.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a 5-in-1 S3 Max, which has the ability to switch between Switch 2 and Switch 1.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, on their website. You got to go to
And
their
that
website.
one's only $37.99. That must be new. I don't think that one was available when I purchased mine. I got mine off Amazon. So,
Yeah, last week when we were talking about it, I mentioned that one. That's one I was looking at, was the one, because I need one
it's
where I
the
can.
exact same design.
Yes.
For although this one has notches in where you set the switch in it, because it's like a triangle. It looks like a Toblerone bar, except plastic. And you
That's
set your
funny.
switch in the
You can't
notch.
eat it.
Right.
Just don't try
This
to
one
eat it.
has the S3 Air has notches in that little groove to allow for airflow to be better.
Mhm.
But it also, as you've pointed out, it works for Switch 1 and Switch 2. So Justin, you may want to try that
Yeah.
out.
I'm
These
going
do
to
not
Amazon right
ship
now.
these do not ship with a power brick. Okay.
Okay.
Just telling you that on the front end. You'll have to buy that on your own. Of course, Walmart also has a Nintendo Switch 2 charging cable solution that is, I wanted to say it's like $20.
But
So
nobody's going to buy it until
again,
everybody.
your mileage may vary.
Yes.
So please
Power
be careful
supplies
with that.
are the ones that are scary.
Ultimately, what I would say and speak to that is this: is if you are afraid that you'll break your Switch, just get the Nintendo one. Just save up and get the Nintendo one. But
Sometimes
on the wild
Nintendo
side
will even
sometimes.
sell refurbished ones too. So
That's
if you
true.
keep an eye on
They
their
may be.
website. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right.
So Marty, I know you got to jump. So, but the other guys, especially Justin, since you played Silksong, we
See
can
y'all next
answer Zach Zablock's question.
Also, just before Marty goes, just a reminder. Never mind. Let's say just before, folks. Reminder: join us live tomorrow. We're gonna be reacting to the Nintendo Direct on our YouTube channel, on our Twitch channel, Facebook, all the good stuff. So if you want to watch it live with us and find out whether we're right or wrong on our predictions, join us. We're gonna be bright and early. We're literally doing the podcast, going to bed, and jumping back on a call to talk about video games again.
Well, you guys are going to bed, but
yeah,
Jesse and I have to get stuff done.
Oh, jeez. Shots fired.
The last question is, I bought Silksong because my wife was nearly in tears dealing with the difficulty curve this game presents over the first one. Again, this is Zablanc who sent this in. As long as I stay ahead of her, I can beat the bosses for her without needing to learn the mechanics each time she has trouble. Is there a game you had to lend some significant muscle to for your own significant others or kids? I will say this. I don't remember. And I asked my family, hey, do you guys remember any games I might have helped with? And they said, yeah, you did, but we don't remember which games they were. So I don't remember which ones, but they said I did.
Telling my kids, no, I'm not going to help you. Because if you can't beat this boss, you're not good enough to do later stuff in the game.
Yeah. And I did that with Sammy. I had to do that with the newer, like Ghost Runner. He was like having trouble with that one and he wanted some help. And then it was like a certain point, it was like, dude, you're gonna have to do it on your own. Or Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring, I tried to get into that game and to get to a certain point where I could help him with bosses, and I just couldn't do that either. It's like, dude, you're gonna have to do that one on your own.
Yeah. Remember a case, I think my son was trying to play Final Fantasy IV, and he was old enough he could read, but he didn't like reading, so he would just spam A to skip past the dialogue. And he goes, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, well, the game's supposed to tell you what you're supposed to do if you're reading it. He goes, I haven't been reading it. I'm like, well, that's on you.
Sammy's done that a few times too. He's like, I don't know what to do. It's like, did you read? I have to read? Because he just mashes that button to go get past all the dialogue. So, yeah. Sorry, Justin, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, the one that comes to mind for me was Super Mario Odyssey. My kids were young enough when we had that they needed a little bit of assistance in some of the areas, but usually it was, I just can't quite get the, 2 jumps here and then an over jump and I can't reach that. And so how do you do that? But, for the most part, I think one of the things I do like that I think video games have done very well, and obviously Silksong very much being an exception. Excuse me. This rule is accessibility has become so much more effective as parents for us to be able to deploy, right? And I think of even playing Mario Kart with the bumpers on or auto acceleration. I think that was like a game changer in regards to like just letting kids enjoy and have fun, or even as a thing as something like Mario Party, the ability to customize and change some of the difficulty or who has more stars or whatever. Like you can kind of do some weighting, and I do think overall, and I think interestingly enough, Tim, Star Wars is a great example, but Star Wars has some really good accessibility features in there.
Yes.
PS
right from the beginning.
PS lock picking is stupid. I'll just say that right now, and I literally had to turn on like the visual impaired.
Come on, that's just a rhythm-based game. Come on.
No, I have zero rhythm. I was like, I was just like literally hitting buttons. I was like, it unlocked, and I don't know how I did that and got so angry about it. But nonetheless, I think that overall games have gotten so much better that you can really turn up and down accessibility sliders to allow for those things.
Yeah, right from the beginning, it asked you for those accessibility things too, which was pretty cool. It actually, I wasn't looking at the screen. I was doing something while I was firing up, and then that voice came on. Do this and that, Robo voice on Star Wars Outlaws. And it was like, where's that coming from? Because I have my headphones on.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So it was kind of funny.
You mean a voice like this?
Exactly.
Right? They're like, Jesse's here.
It was Robo Jesse coming into that Star Wars Outlaws.
Sweet.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we close out the episode?
No, other than like join us tomorrow. You know, just
we're gonna have our coffee. We're gonna
have our coffee.
I think my son finished the last of our energy drinks that I had, so I might have to. Well, tomorrow morning's gonna be fun.
You're gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is episode 544. And we want to say thank you for everybody who hung out with us and gave us all their predictions. That was pretty awesome to read off. Again, come hang out with us tomorrow morning when we watch. And if you're listening to this recording, you'll get to know whether we were right or wrong if you watched that Nintendo Direct already. So first, a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, an anonymous Patreon producer, and our other 100 plus Patreons. Next, a special thank you to our 18 Twitch subscribers and over 1,481 Twitch followers, and a shout out to our 8,206 YouTube subscribers. We're getting closer. Do you guys think we'll get 10,000 by the end of the year? I don't know.
No.
I think we can do it. Everybody, if those 8,206 people just tell a friend, we'll double our numbers overnight, right? To come follow us and subscribe on YouTube. Anyways, thank you to everybody who's participated and contributed one way or another. We would not be here if it weren't for you. Check out our website, nintendodads.org, for a list of Nintendo Dads family of podcasts or other recommended podcasts like Star Wars Dads, Mega Dads, Dad Crossing, Retro Logic, and their family of podcasts. Lots of different things you can listen to depending on the way you game or consume your media. Our latest YouTube videos and tweets are out there. Links to our social medias, Patreon, and Extra Life pages. And don't forget, Extra Life is coming up in November. We are getting our team together. So a shout out to everybody who's joined our team. Thank you for that, because with that, we'll be able to hopefully get our $100 bonus. But we still want, if you want to come join us. Or if you want to donate, we love gathering those donations as we build up to those times in November to do Extra Life. Again, you can get the link in our nintendodads.org page for that. We also have Nintendo Dads merch there, as well as right here on YouTube. If you look down below, you can get to our merch there. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, manscaped.com. Get 15% off your Manscaped order, and with code NINDADS, you can get that 15% off. So that's NINDADS. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail. In fact, we haven't got a good voicemail in a while, so please consider giving us a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS or 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music throughout the show. Download from your favorite podcast app of choice, and please, please, please leave us a 5-star review and a comment. For me, for Justin, for Marty, and Jesse, have a good one. Good night.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Justin,